Right now, a new book on the long unsolved murder of JonBenet Ramsey is just out. It's a mystery that has fixated Americans for nearly 20 years. It comes after investigators on a CBS documentary series concluded that the 6-year-old beauty queen likely was killed in a fight with her then 9-year-old brother, and that their parents covered it up. I want to bring in Paula Woodward, author of the new book, We Have Your Daughter, The Unsolved Murder of JonBenet Ramsey 20 years later. And just on a personal note, when I was a cub reporter in Denver, just starting out, this lady was the gold standard in investigative reporting.
Thank
so it's
you.
really good. I haven't seen you in probably almost 20 years.
It's wonderful to see you, yes.
Great to see you. All right. There are lots of specials that have posited somebody inside the Ramsey family was responsible for her death. What do you think of all that?
Well, on Burke, I would say that I would go with the records that I got from Boulder County's social services and the child protection team. And they said, from the interview, it is clear Burke Ramsey did not witness JonBenet's death. I mean, that is so definitive. You have been on this case from day one. You've got stuff in this book that nobody else has seen before. Yes.
But part of the problem is that the police, the investigators, bungled this investigation from the start, didn't they?
Yes, they did. It was botched from the start. There were more than 18 people in that house, most of them family and friends. It was a crime scene. Boulder did not have a homicide department at that point, so they had very few homicide investigators that were trained. And it went on from that to where they started to leak to the media, hey, Patsy Ramsey refused to take DNA when she had. John Ramsey flew his jet to his daughter's funeral when he hadn't. Things like that that just went on and on and on.
So the police were leaking information intentionally?
Police and DA's office intentionally leaking incorrect information.
You interviewed Patsy Ramsey while she was still alive.
I did.
You've spoken to John Ramsey.
Yes.
And there are many people who have cast a finger of suspicion their way. Now, I know that you get into possible conclusions in this book, but you let people decide for themselves what is the likely story.
That's right. What I wanted to do was get the best documentation I could, which I did with thousands of portions of police reports, and then let people decide for themselves, Ramsey or intruder. People are smart. They'll figure out which way they think and why, and go from there. But
the intruder scenario, there's a lot of evidence that it could have been an intruder, but then why leave this 2.5-page weird, rambling ransom note?
John, it doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that that's why the case is so intriguing. It's so awful because it's the death of a child, the murder of a child, but then all of this mysterious information that goes nowhere, that makes no sense, including the ransom note. Why leave it?
And it's not just the murder of a child, but that little girl was tortured. I mean, it wasn't, and that's what makes it so hard to believe that some family member could have been involved.
That's what so few people know, was that she was tortured, and she was tortured brutally in a very sadistic fashion. And that's what so few people know, and that will lend credence to whatever you think happened.
Tell us some of the other information you're bringing forward in this book that nobody else has released until now.
Well, I would say that the police reports are very interesting. Portions of the police reports from the officers that were there that morning, why they didn't find her body, why the father found her body 6 hours after they found out she disappeared. The inconsistencies in saying, gee, the family didn't act right, but all these other police reports, 10 pages of them, that say they were wailing on the floor, they were pounding their knees, they would collapse, they would fall down, they would scream, they would cry, talking about the Ramseys. There were reports, there were no footprints in the snow outside the house, and therefore it couldn't have been an intruder. That was another leaked report, No footprints in the snow, therefore no intruder, except in Colorado, the sun is really intense. And on the south side of that house, which was very long, there was no snow.
The sun melted it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it made no difference.
The book is just out. You can get it on Amazon or any book retailer you want. We Have Your Daughter. It is quite a read.
Thanks,
Paula Woodward.
John.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you, too.
Thank you.